Good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to Education USA Facebook Live session. We are resuming for 2022 with a bang, and it's exciting to be back with you all. This afternoon, you have yours truly, Bernice Afote, and my colleague, Mrs. Marilyn Owusu from Kumasi. We have two amazing women on this show this afternoon. And I'm sure you'll be wondering why two women. March is Women's History Month, and we want to use the opportunity to join the world as we celebrate women, but also to talk about women's colleges in the United States. Before I turn over to my two amazing guests, I will mention their names. They are all Anna, and Anna. They will tell you a bit more about themselves, but I wanted to use the opportunity to remind you about Education USA. And in case you are joining us first time, Education USA is a US government-sponsored network. We are present in 170 countries, and in Ghana, we have two centers. The center at the embassy in Accra, where I'm speaking from, and a second center in Kumasi, where my colleague, Mrs. Owusu, is based. What we do as advisors is to promote US education by providing you with information to help you understand the application processes to US colleges and universities, but we also offer guidance to you. So it's not just about giving you information, but also helping you as you navigate through the application process. We work with students individually, and we also work with them in groups. Since the incidence of COVID, we have moved largely to virtual advising. And if you want to know more, we will be putting our contacts in the chat. Do well to pick it up and reach out to us so we can talk more. At this time, I will turn over to my lovely Annes. Excuse me. So I will turn over to Miss Anna Martin Del Campo from St. Mary's College. We also have Miss Anna West from BRYN MAWR. I'm sorry, there's something blocking my screen. Thank you. Miss Anna West from BRYN MAWR College in Pennsylvania. They are going to lead the discussion this afternoon. I will have Miss Anna Martin Del Campo from St. Mary's College start the conversation. Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us. We know you are very busy at this time, but you make time, and so we are very appreciative that you could join us.
Thank you for having me here. Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Marta del Campo, as previously mentioned. I am a very proud alum of St. Mary's College. I'm originally from Mexicali, Mexico, but was telling everyone that I am from a border town, so I would cross every day to go to school in the United States, where I learned about St. Mary's College in Notre Dame, Indiana, and then I decided that I wanted to go there because of the community. I actually never even touched the campus, never saw the campus, but then I went to a student video reception in California, and that's when I told my mom, this is where I want to go, and she was like, but you've never even visited the campus, and I was like, no, I've seen the community and the admit student reception. This is the type of people that I want to be around with. So then we ended up going to St. Mary's College in August to move me. And I'm about to present why I chose St. Mary's College to you. So I'm sharing my screen right now with you. St. Mary's College is a private Catholic all-women's college. It's liberal arts too, which means that you do not need to declare a major until the end of your sophomore year. Why is this so crucial and important? To me, it is because you're 18, right? You're coming out. You don't need to really make a big decision on what you want to stick to for a major since day one. You have 50 plus majors to choose from, right? Why not take 2 full years to study things that you've never studied before in high school that you never even realized existed, study abroad, come back, and then finally decide what is it that I want to study. So we are located in Notre Dame, Indiana. We are about 1,600 students. As you can see, we pull out Notre Dame, Indiana is our biggest city. Neighboring is Chicago, Illinois, which is about an hour and 45 minutes. I would actually fly to Chicago and then drive to South Bend because that was the easiest way to get there. So from our 1,600 students, 63% are coming from out of state, whereas 37% are coming from Indiana. And one of the most important things that I wanted to know about the campus is that I was coming from very far away and I didn't want to be in a school where it was only the Midwest, right? Or only students that were local. So to me, understanding that the demographic population for our campus was coming from all over the country and internationally as well, to me was really, really appealing. So we have students coming from 40 states and territories from 8 different countries. 22% of our students are of color and 29% are first generation. For those of you who don't know, first generation students means you're the first one going to college from your family, and we're very proud to support our students. So academic excellence. Why would you ever choose an all-women's college? And more so, why would you choose St. Mary's College? And thankfully, I did go to St. Mary's and I loved it, and I can tell you about the individualized experience. This translates to your average classroom being 16 students average per classroom, which means you get to know your professors. Why is it so important to have a student-professor relationship? Because they're able to get you internships, because they get to know you so well, to know your full potential. What does it mean to know your full potential? It means that even if you don't know exactly what you want to study, they're there to advise you. I wanted to do business for the longest time ever, and I was sticking to business. And then my professors came and said, Anna, you're trilingual, you have all these things, you're global, international, there's all these majors, and you're sticking just to business. And then I said, why would a professor ever go out of their way to tell me and advise me on, another major per se? And of course, I ended up doing global studies because I love the major that they cater to me. And this is when I started to realizing professors really care about you. You're not just a number sitting in an auditorium. They actually get to know you and take the time to do so that they're there for you, so that it becomes a family. And then fast forward senior year, December, I was the only one in my group of friends that didn't have a job lined up. Again, I went to my professors and I said, I have not a clue what I want to do with my life. And they had already written letters of recommendation for me and sat me down with brochures for grad school to go to grad school. So these are the things that I say for the individualized academic experience, that it goes really a long way. So speaking of 60 plus majors, we have all these majors to choose from, but our most popular are actually nursing, our engineering program that is actually partnered with the University of Notre Dame. I'll talk about our tri-campus community right now. We have speech language pathology, education, and then we also have our pre-med. So anything with health sciences, we're very popular in that as well. For research opportunities, I like to just briefly talk about this because usually research opportunities tend to arise when you go to grad school. However, St. Mary's is fully fond of our students getting funded and getting grants for research opportunities, because this is how you get hands-on experience throughout your 4 years. And then also your senior year, you actually have to present an entire research project on your own, presented to the board of your major and department in order to be able to graduate. So that gives you a lot of hands-on experience. That also gives you stuff to put on your resume. So it's quite amazing. One of the actual research projects that are going on is that students have created a pad, which can tell whether medicine is created fake or real, which is not an issue maybe here in the United States, but it is an issue all around the world. So just one of the opportunities that have arisen throughout the years. Why would you attend a women's college having so many co-ed, right? This is the question and the big one. So we see numbers, and I think that's the most important, right? And you'll see maybe Anna will say this as well, but you will hear the word empowerment so many times, right? You are empowered to reach your full potential. You are empowered to become the person you're meant to be. You learn to use your voice. It doesn't matter the audience that you're in, whether it's all women or it's all men. But I think primarily students going into the medical field, into law field, into engineering, where it's very manly field populated, being able to be empowered and knowing how to use your voice, because it doesn't matter who you're competing against, I think is a huge tool to have when you're going to an all women's college. And we see also the percentages, right? I mean, 51% of women go, complete a grad degree and who attended a women's college versus 27% who attended a public university, versus also 81% of students said that they felt prepared for their job who attended an all women's college, again, coming in with a hands-on projects and research opportunities and internships, versus 65% of students who attended a public university that was co-ed. So the results are that 93% of our students that are graduated in 4 years are employed or enrolled in grad school within 1 year of graduation, which speaks huge, right? One of the examples that I previously said was December, senior year, what am I going to do? Professors are really there to get you out the door, not just to graduate, but get you somewhere after St. Mary's. So, and we also have a very important career crossings office, which is an office dedicated to help you with resumes, preparing you for internships, for actually interviewing and prepping your resume for these career fairs that we have throughout the tri-campus community. And to me, I always said it wasn't really what name of a university you have on your resume, whether it's St. Mary's, whether it's Notre Dame, whether it's BRYN MAWR, whether it's Holy Cross. It's how prepared you are, how you sell yourself, how well it is that you know this position in order to become who they want you to be. So it's just a matter of trying to find the spot for you and what you want to study and where we can get you afterwards. So some of the examples of where our current students are at are Google. Actually, my best friend is one of the directors at Google, and her sister is one too, both graduates of St. Mary's College. We have nurses in the Cleveland Clinic, which is huge in Ohio. Amazon, I also have a friend working in Amazon. We have financial advisors in Disney, MSNBC. We also have at the US Congress and the Peace Corps, of course. Some of our students where they're at right now are at St. Mary's in grad school, of course, but then we also have students going to Columbia, Notre Dame, Georgetown, MIT, London School of Economics. The world is your oyster. Just tell us where you want to be and then leave it to us to prepare you to get you there, right? So let's talk about our tri-campus community. Who's our neighboring partnering colleges? So our sister colleges are the University of Notre Dame and then Holy Cross as well, Holy Cross College. So how are we connected to Notre Dame? Well, the academic section of it is we actually have an engineering degree, which in 5 years, you graduate from both the University of Notre Dame and St. Mary's College. You start transitioning from St. Mary's into Notre Dame. And so in 5 years, you're able to graduate with an engineering degree. The rule of thumb to taking courses at St. Mary's College is that as long as we don't offer the coursework at the college, you're able to take it at Notre Dame. You're also able to dine at Notre Dame if that's something you wanted to do. A lot of my friends were legacy, which meant that their parents went to Notre Dame or St. Mary's and they loved being at Notre Dame. You can make the Notre Dame experience as big or as little as you want. I was only there during Saturdays for football games because I loved watching football, but it really is up to you how much you want to experience the double campus experience per se. One of the things I will say that I loved is that we had 500 plus clubs and organizations between both campuses, which meant that if it wasn't St. Mary's, I'm sorry about the background noise, that if it wasn't a club that I wanted to do at St. Mary's, that I could easily go to Notre Dame and find whatever I needed. This also comes back to the library. I know this is a very bookworm of me, but having double the opportunity for the books, if it wasn't at St. Mary's and going for that research opportunity at Notre Dame Library was also amazing. So for dances and social events, that was also a thing I was wanting to share with you because again, the double of opportunity that I was also president of the clubs at St. Mary's, but I also had a huge international presence at Notre Dame that I was going for if I wanted to meet people from all over the country, from all over the world. So having social events, if it's not, you're going to the theater, you're going if there's a comedy club going on, if there's any of the sports that you want to watch. So it really is up to you. But I think having that double opportunity is really amazing. So for studying abroad, this is one of the topics I love to talk about because I studied abroad, and I think it really opens your eye to seeing a different world. So we offer semester and full year programs. I personally went to Rome and I loved it, but you're able to take semester break and summer programs. Why do we offer semester break, summer break, full year programs? Because sometimes your major, such as nursing, will not permit you because of the coursework that you're taking to go for a full semester or full year, which is why we offer sometimes semester break and summer programs. We have 38 options in nearly 20 different countries. So, it's anything that you would like to study in anywhere all over the world. It's just up to you. But 50% of our students really do study abroad. So it just gives you an insight of how much your students are really going out there. So for the admission process, we have two different deadlines, which is the early decision and the regular decision. So for the early decision, application deadline is November 15, while the deposit deadline is January 15, while our regular decision application deadline is June 1st, and our deposit deadline is July 1st. For the application requirements, so of course, the first thing is needed is the application. In itself, you can go through the common application, or you can go through the Dare to Discover, which is on our website, your high school transcript, of course, which is official, your personal essay test scores, which is either the TOEFL, Duolingo, SAT, or ACT, the secondary school report from your school, and the certification of finances. Please note that for the certification of finances, do not be completed for your application to be read. So for staying engaged, St. Mary's, I know can be sometimes hard to reach, especially if you're a student like me coming from Mexicali, right? So the good thing now is that not only me, but also probably BRYN MAWR, is that we have all these virtual options, right? Whether it's virtual chats, whether it's webinars, whether it's tours that are given by student ambassadors, or you can take a self-tour yourself. This, I think, is the era to be able to take advantage to find the campus in itself online on our website. So all you have to do is go online to stmarys.edu/visit, and you will be able to explore all of our virtual options. Again, when I was saying, why would you ever go again to St. Mary's or BRYN MAWR, an all-women's college? I think it's also part of the community in itself. I wanted to go to a college town where I didn't need to take a bus to go from my science class all the way to the dining hall to then take a train to go to my dorm, where I just wanted to walk 5 minutes from, building to building. But again, it's about what you're looking for at a college. I wanted a smaller classroom environment where, the average class size was 16 students. Again, I didn't want to be in an auditorium for my Bio 101 class sitting all the way in the back. So it's just a matter of what you're looking for in a college. But I think St. Mary's, what really emphasizes in the women's college experience is the community. It's the sisterhood. It's the part that campus really becomes your second home. And that is really what you need. Well, what I needed per se, when you're looking to succeed, to be comfortable enough to know who to ask for help, who to reach out to become the person you want to become after St. Mary's, to reach your full potential. If you're needing more financial aid, anything. Speaking of financial aid, know that all admitted students do receive scholarships, and these range from $20,000 to $34,000. So if you're admitted, you would be receiving these. The criteria based on the scholarships are on your GPA, your class rank, if your school ranks, and then your test scores. But these test scores would be based on the SAT and the ACT, not on the TOEFL. So if you don't take the TOEFL and don't take the SAT, if you're not applying international, then we would just consider your class rank and your GPA. If your school does not rank, then we would just go off of your GPA. I know there's a lot of options going on there with the test optional, but I just wanted to be clear with everything. This is all that I have for today. I hope you enjoyed about St. Mary's. I included in the chat the link. If you want to learn more about St. Mary's and get more information, all you have to do is go on that link, fill out that form and would be more than happy. My information is also on this next slide. I will put it also in the chat. But thank you so much for being here today, learning about St. Mary's, and hopefully we'll get to see you on campus soon.
Well, Anna, thank you very much. Anytime I listen to presentations like these, I feel like going back to school, except when I apply, you tell me I'm too old. Thank you for sharing so much. We will have some questions, but we'll turn over to Anna from BRYN MAWR to also give us a rundown about BRYN MAWR College, and then we'll go into the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Anna, that was truly a great presentation. I think if you're looking at either of our schools or any women's college, you're in good hands. You're setting yourself up for success. So I will introduce myself, but I'm going to put up a beautiful PowerPoint so you don't just see my office. Just give me one moment. Okay, here we go. So as I mentioned, my name is Anna West. I'm an admissions officer at BRYN MAWR College. I'm also a recent alum. I think you may notice a theme of both Anna and I are alums, and I think that just speaks to like the community and how much we value our women's college education. Typically, I don't do recruiting for the continent of Africa. I usually stay in continental US, but I lived in West Africa, and so I was really excited to be asked to do this today. So firstly, I want to start off with this quote from a recent alum who says, "There's something to be said about the world when women get to run it." BRYN MAWR is a college in which women can claim an education. We were founded in 1885 in response to the most prestigious and rigorous education and the Ivy League education in the US, not offering places to women. So BRYN MAWR College and the Seven Sisters came together and created a coalition of schools that could provide just as rigorous, just as prestigious of an education. We include BRYN MAWR, Barnard, Wellesley, Mount Holyoke, Smith, Vassar, and Radcliffe. Unfortunately, Vassar and Radcliffe are no longer women's colleges. Vassar is co-ed and Radcliffe is a school within Harvard University. But I say this to really nail in the point that BRYN MAWR, we are intellectually curious. It is a rigorous environment, but at the same time, it is a place where you are supported in your academics and in your intelligence. BRYN MAWR's mission speaks to the institution's desire to give women a voice in areas we've often been silenced: academia, business, STEM, really everywhere. And we do this while maintaining an academically focused, warm, and community-driven environment. In addition to advocating for gender minorities, women's colleges are incredibly diverse. I'm sure you could see that even in Anna's presentation. BRYN MAWR is about 20% international, 32% of our US citizens identify as students of color, 31% of our US-based citizens actually hold another citizenship, and 14% of our student body is first generation, so the first in their families to go to college. And we're very proud of this fact. However, I know that some of you, if not all of you, are coming from girls' schools, and so I don't need to tout the benefits of a women's college education to you, but I will say that it does look kind of different. When you get to BRYN MAWR, you're an adult and we will treat you as such. So in short, there are no uniforms, no curfew, men will be in classes with you because of our consortia, and you really get to grow as a woman in this environment. In addition to being a women's college, another institutional designation that we align with is that of a liberal arts college. The liberal arts curriculum is broad-based and encourages a wide range of interests and creates well-rounded students. For centuries, these liberal arts colleges were restricted to white men with a significant amount of money. And BRYN MAWR was created in a response to that. As I mentioned, these schools were the Ivy League schools, and we said, no, women deserve a place in this environment as well. And we were actually the first college to offer women PhDs. Today, A liberal arts education refers to studies across several disciplines. Subjects may include, but aren't limited to, languages, history, philosophy, literature, social sciences such as psychology and anthropology, and natural sciences such as biology, chemistry, and physics. You really can do it all at Bryn Mawr and at a liberal arts college. A liberal arts college really encourages curiosity of thought and experiences, bringing your work from the classroom into the field. It also teaches you how to be flexible. Bryn Mawr is a community of intellectually engaged students and curious students. Our liberal arts curriculum feeds into that by teaching students how to think instead of what to think. So as you can see on the screen, students at Bryn Mawr feel prepared to go immediately into business, education, health, and medicine, despite us not having, more quote unquote pre-professional majors. And this is because we want you to be passionate about what you're learning, but also gain skills in a variety of different disciplines so that you can be prepared to go into any career field, whether that's medicine or education. 98% of our students report a positive outcome. So what does that mean? That means 98% of our students feel fulfilled 1 year out of Bryn Mawr. So for 60% of students, that is employment. For 32% of students, that is going back to grad school. Then smaller percentages include service work, fellowship work, and even travel. I myself did a fellowship. I was part of the David L. Boren Scholarship through the Department of Defense upon graduation. And I actually moved to Senegal and learned Wolof through them. So as I mentioned, we are a liberal arts college, and we want you to have the skills to enter any field, any classroom, any office with confidence. And so we really instill that confidence through our approaches to inquiry. This is really the foundation of our liberal arts education. So you will take one class in every discipline on the screen: critical interpretation, cross-cultural analysis, inquiry into the past, and scientific investigation. Now, those are very broad sounding because they are. Inquiry into the past sounds like history, and it can be, but it can also be geology if you're more STEM focused. It can be philosophy. I think I took a medieval medicine course to fulfill that requirement. So really, I like to say that this is a way to dip your toes into maybe something that's outside of your comfort zone without pushing you into the deep end, because you may figure out that your comfort zone is actually a lot more flexible and complex than you had previously thought. In addition to those 4 approaches to inquiry, we have a foreign language requirement, 2 consecutive semesters of a foreign language, a quantitative methods requirement, and our Emily Balch seminar. So for the foreign language requirement and the quantitative methods requirement, quantitative methods meaning logic and/or numbers, we believe in the test up instead of out policy. So let's say you already speak French like I did. I was a French major at Bryn Mawr. We're not going to start you with bonjour. We're going to start you where you need to start. For me, that was literature. So we're going to meet you where you're at. We're going to make sure that you're going to have a rigorous education regardless at what level you're coming into. In addition, I mentioned our Emily Balch seminar, named after the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, also a Bryn Mawr alum. And that is our first year writing intensive course. So all first years take it. We have between 30 and 40 different classes to choose from in a variety of different disciplines. Bryn Mawr is a writing intensive college. You will learn how to write and learn how to write well about many different subjects. And so this seminar really reflects that. You can have a biology professor be your writing seminar professor. You can have a French professor even, I've heard of that. Or of course, if you're interested in English, you can have an English professor and it'll be more of a standard English course. Again, I had a biology professor. I learned about food science and government. So with that, we'll go to one of my favorite parts about Bryn Mawr, and one of my favorite parts when I was a student was our consortia. So we are part of several consortia, the Bi-College Consortium with Haverford, the Tri-College Consortium with Haverford and Swarthmore, and the Quaker Consortium with Haverford, Swarthmore, and the University of Pennsylvania. Haverford is geographically the closest to us. It is about a mile away from us, and we have a bus that will take you directly from our campus to their campus. And because of that geographic closeness, we are academically and socially also closest to them. You can major, minor, eat, although our food is much better and anybody would say that. You could theoretically eat there though. Join clubs, really live your life at Haverford College if you would like. But I do want to stress that we still maintain our own culture and we're very proud of that. They're like siblings, the two schools. In addition, we have the Tri-College Consortium with Swarthmore, geographically a bit further, about 30 minutes away. We have a van that will take you from our college to their college. And because of that geographic distance, you cannot major there, except in linguistics and in environmental studies. All three schools, Haverford, BRYN MAWR, and Swarthmore, contribute money, professors into those two programs so that it's really one of the top programs in the country. And then finally, we have our relationship with the University of Pennsylvania. I know I was saying we offered something different than the Ivy League institutions, and now I'm showing you an Ivy League institution. We still do, but we have a relationship with them nonetheless. So you can take courses at the School of Arts and Sciences at University of Pennsylvania, or you can participate in one of our combined degree programs with them, in which you get a bachelor's and a master's in less amount of time. We have a 4+1, so 4 years at BRYN MAWR, 1 year at University of Pennsylvania. We have a 4+1 in bioethics, a 4+1 in engineering, a 4+1 in teaching or an education with a teaching certificate, as well as a 3+2 in city and regional planning. So 3 years at BRYN MAWR, 2 years at University of Pennsylvania. However, if you're interested in a combined degree program, you don't have to look very far. BRYN MAWR also has a graduate school. So despite being a school of about 1,300 undergraduate students, we still have a graduate school. Again, we were the first school to offer PhDs to women, and so we keep doing that. You could do a 4+1 in French. I have many friends that did that as a former French major. You can also do it in archaeology, in classics, in history of art, in chemistry, biology, physics. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but it's all on the website. And also at our graduate school, social work and social research, you can do a 4+1. So it's a great opportunity. So one thing that we're going to ask you to do if you're a student at BRYN MAWR is to actualize your learning. So take what you're learning in the classroom and instill it and put it into real work outside of the BRYN MAWR sphere. So we do that in two ways. We have study abroad and we have 360-degree program. Study abroad is a great option. Many of our students do it during their fall or spring of their junior year. The study abroad programs that we have are pretty extensive. We have 90 pre-approved, which means that we've sent people before, we know the programs, and the schools and the organizations will automatically send over your transcript. And so it's very seamless. You don't have to do anything except go and enjoy. So we do offer semester-long programs, but we also have summer and year-long programs as well. If you study abroad during the academic year, your financial aid will travel with you. And at BRYN MAWR, we meet 100% of demonstrated need for financial aid. So if you get financial aid, it'll be 100% covered by the institution all 4 years. In addition, we do have the 360-degree program, which I think is very unique to BRYN MAWR and really highlights our liberal arts education. The 360 program is where students take a cluster of courses, typically 3, on a central theme. So on the screen, you'll see the Migrations and Borderlands 360. The theme was Migrations and Borderlands. They looked at Latin American to US migration. And they examined these courses critically by taking the 3 courses, which were English, Spanish, and sociology. Then during their spring break, they physically went to Mexico, to Arizona, and to Southern California. They met with activists on both sides of the wall and really got to visualize and see the complexity after studying it for a semester together. If you do a 360-degree program, it is fully funded by the college, including your travel. So the second you leave your dorm room to go travel and to the second you come home, you are fully covered, all expenses paid. And so this is another great way that people study abroad. I do want to just chime in and say I studied abroad. I did both a summer program in Avignon, France, as well as a semester-long program in Paris, Rabat, and Senegal, Rabat, Morocco, and Senegal. And so that was a really great opportunity, and that actually gave me a basis of language in both Arabic and in Wolof to then get the scholarship through the Department of Defense upon graduation. So Philadelphia can play an extensive role in your time here at BRYN MAWR as well. We're only 20 minutes outside of the city, and the train is only 2 blocks away from campus. So students will often go for, academic reasons. Maybe their class is going into the city. Maybe they want to go to a museum to write about a piece of art at one of our many museums. But it can also be socially, it can be for volunteer work, and it can be for internship work. So we do have a program similar to the 360-degree program in Center City, Philadelphia, called TriCo-Philly. This is where students take a cluster of courses like 360s, but the central theme is Philadelphia. It is the diversity, the complexity, the structures of Philadelphia as the theme. And then they'll take 3 classes within that. So I had a friend do the TriCo-Philly program, and she took a hip hop class, she took a public health course, and all centered around issues and the beauty of Philadelphia. In addition, you can take part in internship and professional development activities within the city. 79% of our students hold at least one internship. The reason you may see a range on the screen is because the class of 2021, which was largely impacted by the pandemic, had a lower percentage at 67%, but that's still quite high given the pandemic. I was the class of 2021, and I held 3 internships during my time at BRYN MAWR. The Korean Civic Engagement Center helped me find the one in Philadelphia as a domestic violence counselor, but they also helped me find the one back home in San Diego. So it doesn't have to be limited to the city. And then I've talked a lot about how students can take from the city, but I think students are really cognizant of wanting to give back to the community. And so we have many volunteer opportunities. Every Saturday, we have Saturday Days of Service in which students can go volunteer in the city, and the school will pay for your transportation. But the Korean Civic Engagement Center also helps our students translate their volunteer activities from high school into college work, or from figuring out their new passions so that they can better meet the needs of themselves, but also the community. And I do want to stress that BRYN MAWR students can have fun and do have fun as well. And so the city of Philadelphia is a great way to do that. There are many murals, as I mentioned, and museums, but we also have a great music scene, which I don't think people realize. So I don't know if you know, but we have Grammy-nominated Japanese Breakfast coming out of Philadelphia. She was also a BRYN MAWR alum, class of 2011. She started her band on campus. So that's really fun, and we often would go as students. And also, it's a very young environment. So Philadelphia has 80 colleges and universities in the surrounding area. And given the relative affordability in the context of the East Coast, many decide to stay, like myself, and I now live in Philadelphia. So it's fun, it's young, and people love staying here. I also wanted to add this in to give you context of where we are geographically. So we are in the red, but we're also, if you can kind of see, only 2 hours away from New York City and 2 hours away from Washington, D.C. So I have friends that majored in art history, had paintings they needed to write about that were in the Met in New York, and would do a day trip to New York to write about that. We would also spend some of our breaks in New York. I had friends from California like myself. And so that was really great. We would just spend our breaks there instead of fly all the way home to San Diego. I'm sure Anna mentioned it earlier, but San Diego, Mexicali are very close. They're all the way on the other side to the left. And so like Anna, I would stay in Philadelphia. And then finally, I want to talk about community, because that's really why people stay at Bryn Mawr and love Bryn Mawr so much. So the broadest sense of community is the women's college community. The fact that both Anna and I are here to speak, really talks and really speaks to the fact that we're close as women's colleges. We will help each other get jobs. We will help each other with housing. We have Facebook groups that do that. We have Facebook groups for advice. So once you become part of the women's college community, you're in it forever, and it is a connected community. Then I'll bring it in a little smaller. We have the Seven Sisters community, same thing. Ask for advice, ask for housing, do house swaps so someone can take care of your dogs while you go take care of theirs in a different city. Job advice, there's that. And then there's the Bryn Mawr community. We have traditions here on campus. I think every women's college, has many, many traditions. So we have May Day up on the top left corner. That's President Cassidy, KCAS, as well as students dressed in all white with flower crowns on a horse-drawn carriage. And that's a beautiful celebration in which alums come back to as well. Then we have 150 clubs and organizations at Bryn Mawr, including BCASO, which is our African Caribbean Diaspora Student Association, Mujeres, our Latin American and Caribbean Association, as well as religious groups and fun clubs. I was part of Tea Club. I really like tea, and we would just sit and talk about tea all day. It was great, and drink a lot of tea. We also have athletics, of course. If you want to participate, we are Division III. We are competitive, but I know some teams have room for walk-ons as well. We also have club sports, so if you would like to try something out, that's also welcome and encouraged. We also have a lot of research opportunities. I like to say that if you come in ready to do research, you have the knowledge, you have the basis, you've talked to your professors, you've created a relationship, you can do research right away at Bryn Mawr in STEM, in social sciences, or humanities. And lastly, I want to stress, as an alum, this is a community for the rest of your life. The Bryn Mawr community, the Seven Sisters community, the Women's College community, you get it for forever. So I know I didn't touch upon the application points of how to get into Bryn Mawr, but they are very similar. We have the same deadlines, November 15th for ED1, Early Decision 1, January 1 for Early Decision 2, and then later that month, January 15th for regular decision. And we do have a holistic approach. So I'm happy to answer any questions about applications, about financial aid, but also about student life and what it's like to be a student here. So thank you.
And just really quickly, because this is something that I wanted to touch base on, just a couple of famous women that have graduated from all women colleges have been Barbara Walters, Hillary Clinton, Julia Child, Martha Stewart, Meryl Streep, Nancy Pelosi. So this is just a handful of very great, outstanding women who have graduated, not just from Bryn Mawr, Mount Holyoke, St. Mary's College, from all over. So you can see that not only great minds think alike and go to women's colleges, but they're out there conquering the world.
Wow, thank you so much, Anna and Anna. These have been wonderful presentations, and I'm smiling because one of the questions was for you to share about some prominent ladies who attended women's colleges. So that is just on point. Thank you so much for sharing. We have a lot of questions coming from very different angles. So we will see how many of them we can answer before time is up. Okay. So someone is asking, why do US schools require Ghanaians to provide IELTS, SAT, Duolingo, like all the English proficiency tests, since English is a medium of instruction and first language in Ghana?
Sure. And do you want to take it first and then I'll finish, or do you want me to take it? Okay.
I can go because Bryn Mawr has an easy answer. We don't require it of Ghanaians. So if your language of instruction throughout high school has been English, we do not require those tests.
Thank you.
And same for us. If your first language in your school has been English, we provide the waiver for that test. All we really do is hop on a Zoom call with you, and then we go from there.
Okay, thank you. And then for the sake of those who have just joined us, this is the Education USA Ghana Facebook Live session. We're celebrating Women's History Month, and we are hosting two powerful women who are alums from their respective schools, St. Mary's in Indiana and BRYN MAWR in Pennsylvania. Coincidentally, they are both called Anna with different spellings. So another question says, what are some of the popular majors at your school? Some of you mentioned some of these, but for the sake of those who have just joined us, can you highlight a few of the majors that your schools are known for? Thanks.
Sure, I can go and briefly touch base on our most popular programs. So one of them is engineering. So our engineering program, in which you graduate in 5 years from both St. Mary's College and the University of Notre Dame. So it's a program, it's a dual program with both universities. Nursing is actually one of our top programs as well, especially because you are at the hospital your entire senior year. So you have that whole hands-on experience, work on your resume, so that when you graduate St. Mary's, you pretty much have a job lined up because you've been at the hospital. Third one being education, same thing, you're teaching at a school your senior year. So you have the hands-on experience and it goes from secondary education all the way to kindergarten. We also have speech language pathology, which is amazing. We actually have a clinic on campus where you're able to actually continue on your hands-on experience. And then the fifth one being, well, we have so many popular ones, right? But our health sciences, we actually have a brand new building where if you're pre-dental, pre-health, pre-vet, we guide you through not only applying to med school, dental school, wherever you're applying to, but also give you the hands-on experiences that you need after St. Mary's. So I'll pass it on to Anna now.
Yes, thank you. So our top majors are English, psychology, and biology. I know that might surprise some people because that's in humanities, a social science, and a STEM. And I think that kind of speaks to the liberal arts education that you can absolutely take, you know, an English, a psychology, and a biology class. We're strong in all three. But I would also be a terrible former French major if I didn't mention that our French program is world renowned, has really prepared me for my life after BRYN MAWR and my fellowships. So also recommend that one.
Okay, thank you. Somebody is asking if both schools have postgraduate programs.
Anna, do you want to go? But both of ours do, but go ahead, Anna.
Great, thank you. So we do have a graduate school here at BRYN MAWR. We have a graduate school of arts and sciences, as well as a graduate school of social work and social research. So I mentioned in my presentation, we have many different programs, French, again, French focused, but also biology, chemistry, physics, classics, archaeology, history of art. So we have many, and then of course, social work and social services.
Yes, so we also have graduate programs. We have a Doctorate of Science in Nursing, we have Autism Studies, we have a 4+1 Data Science, 4+1 Speech Language Pathology. We also have social work, so whatever caters to you.
I should also mention, sorry, BRYN MAWR also has 4+1 programs with other institutions outside of BRYN MAWR. So the University of Pennsylvania, we have engineering with them, as well as with Caltech in California. We have, you know, public health with Boston University. There are many, many, both domestically, but also internationally. So we have programs with the UK as well.
Thank you. This is important. Sometimes just having the name college can be misleading. So it might stop people from looking at graduate opportunities at your school. So thank you. I think it's a very good question. So somebody is asking, if a school is test optional, does it affect the person's ability to have funding?
So we have been test optional since 4 years ago, even before the pandemic. So as I said, if you are test optional, then we would, and your school does not rank, then we would just take your GPA into consideration.
At Bryn Mawr, similarly, we've been test optional since before the pandemic. I myself was test optional, to be very transparent. And then now we are test optional for international students. It does not impact your ability to get merit, which is decided by admissions, nor does it impact your ability to get financial aid. And at Bryn Mawr, as I mentioned, we have 100% need met. So if you have need, we will meet it for all 4 years.
Okay, thank you. We are asking very serious questions, but the one here that is interesting, I wanted to ask that before we get back. Are students able to invite guys to parties on campus?
That's a great question. Absolutely. So the social life aspect of our tri-campus community abides in all three. So we actually also have a shuttle that goes through all three campuses, and it's free for students. So if you are hearing from a friend that there is a concert at Notre Dame, you are, as a student at St. Mary's, are able to go for free, and yes, meet your friends there. If there is a theater club going on at St. Mary's and the guys come in, yes, you're able to socialize in every aspect, whether it's academics, social, athletics, arts, anything that you're going for. We do have dances actually throughout both campuses, whether it's St. Mary's, Holy Cross, so you're able to attend social events wherever you are, whether they're culturally, academic, as I said, or you know, socially as a party, you would say yes. So you're able to go back and forth.
Same with Bryn Mawr. We are part of the consortia with Haverford, Swarthmore, and the University of Pennsylvania. They are at parties. They are, you know, boyfriends or friends or whatever. And so they are absolutely on campus. And again, as I mentioned, when you're at college, you're an adult and Bryn Mawr will treat you as such. So no curfews, no uniforms, and men are absolutely allowed.
So one thing also to note, sorry, for both colleges is that like they're very close to the other colleges. It's not like you have to take, you know, a bus for like 2 hours to go to the next one. They're a mile, the other one. For Notre Dame and St. Mary's, it's actually a bike ride, 7-minute walk from campus to campus. So it's very common not only to go to those campuses, but for men actually to be at your own campus. So for St. Mary's per se, we have a lot of students from Notre Dame and the education program. So you tend to see men in class as well as St. Mary's. So you go back and forth. In all honesty, for me, I never really noticed that the all women's college until I was in the classroom because I wanted it to be like that. But as I said, and I think it goes also for Bryn Mawr, you make the co-ed experience as big or as little as you want. If you want to go to the other campuses, great. If not, then you stay at your own campus. But the flexibility and the option for it to be there, I think it's what makes our colleges unique.
Great, thank you. Somebody is also asking if all your classes are taught by professors. I guess this is for the undergraduate classes.
And do you want to go ahead and?
Yes, yes is the answer. All classes are taught by professors. We will have an odd TA here or there, some who are undergraduates, some who are graduates, but they never teach classes. The only thing that they do, and they never grade, the only thing that they do is that they will add extra office hours on top of professors' office hours so that, you know, if let's say you're taking Spanish, they can, you know, be an extra hour of language support if you need it, but that does not take away from the professor's office hours or the professor teaching all of your courses.
Yes, and same for ours. So I think that's one of the things that we highlight at St. Mary's. You are taught by professors only. And if you were to find a TA, this would be because they're offering a tutoring hour per se, right after class. But every single person who is teaching at St. Mary's is a professor.
Okay, there are two questions, but I think they are similar, so I'll put them together. what is your school known for and what makes your institution unique? So I'm combining them so you can.
Good question, Anna.
A
I'll
bit
let
of a test, huh?
Okay, thank you for having me go first. I really appreciate that. So I think that's a really difficult question because academically versus socially versus what our students say is the highlight once they're alums, right? And so for me, I can just speak for myself. The highlight of my time at BRYN MAWR was feeling smart. I had never really felt smart as a woman before I got to BRYN MAWR. I thought it was a fluke that I got in, right? Because I had no confidence in the ability to get in. And I didn't think I was smart. And then I came and I was sitting around a table with a bunch of first years, and we were talking about government control of food in my Emily Balch seminar. And I remember thinking, oh, everybody is so smart. And if they're smart, I'm smart. Like there's no way that I wasn't smart. And at BRYN MAWR, the philosophy is that professors are not smarter than you at all. They have way more knowledge in a certain field. They are older than you and so have a lot of mentorship capabilities, but they aren't smarter than you. And so you're on equal footing. At BRYN MAWR, they don't even stand behind a podium or sit in a bigger chair than you. It's just truly around a round table and you're speaking and talking and no hand raised and just enjoying and being in an intellectually stimulating environment. So for me, that's what we're known for. We're known for being curious in many different fields, right? English, psychology, and biology are our top majors. We're known for encouraging students, encouraging women to speak their mind, to delight in being smart, and gain confidence. There was a second part to that question that I had forgotten.
So what your school is known for and what makes your institution unique?
So what makes us unique, I think, is our interdisciplinary lens. Again, English, psychology, and biology are our top majors. I studied French. I got to create my own discipline within French. I studied Francophone health. I studied health in West Africa, funnily enough. And so I got to, create this major with the French department, of course, but with, our Africana studies department, with our history department, with our health studies department, with our biology department, to make sure that my French major was covering every single topic. And then I wrote a thesis in French about it. So I think that's what makes our institution unique, is that despite there being different majors and minors, there really is actually a lot of flexibility and fluidity within that. Professors talk to students, professors talk to other professors in different disciplines. So you really get to make your educational experience your own.
Great.
If that didn't sell you, I don't know what will. But going to St. Mary's, and that's a great answer. So I wanted Anna to answer first because I actually have a similar, of course, coming from a women's college. So I wanted to see how how my perspective would be same but different in a way, if I can explain this. So one of the things coming into St. Mary's, and this is a famous quote from Sister Madaleva Wolf, which was her president back in the day, but this, I think, is the motto for St. Mary's. And she says, at St. Mary's, we promise you this discovery, we promise the discovery of yourselves, the discovery of the universe, and your place in it. And what does that mean? And in the beginning, you're like, oh yeah, it's a quote that they give us in the pamphlet for orientation. It really doesn't mean anything, right? And it's just in every building in the school. But then as you continue going through your studies in your years, you start understanding how to use your voice. And this is something that you feel like, oh, I know how to use my voice. I talk to everyone. No, how do you use your voice, not only on the social aspect, inside the classroom, giving a presentation? Are you in front of 1,000 people? Are you in front of 2 people? What kind of audience do you have? But that confidence in yourself was something that I lacked for a long time until I got to St. Mary's, because again, they make you see your true potential. They make you feel like you're in a family community where people actually care about you. Growing up, I never really was a person with a lot of friends. I never was in a group of like 10 girls. So to me, coming into a school where every single student was my friend, everyone was community, everybody was looking out for each other, was something that I valued so much, because it meant that I was comfortable using my voice, that I was comfortable, giving my opinions, where the classrooms are meant for conversation style. It's not just in your desk sitting, but they're challenging you. Anna, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this chapter? Let's give it to Marissa to participate. And you challenge yourself to become really the best version of who you can be. And that to me was just priceless. You're not a number, you're a person. You're part of the family now, you're part of a community. And that to me was St. Mary's. It's a sisterhood of family who believes in values, who believes in your potential and getting you not only to graduate with your fullest potential, but to really think outside the box of where you could be. Did I know my freshman year that I was going to be in a grad school in Italy and then working at the US Embassy as a translator? Never in my life. I would have said, no, are you kidding, and laughed. But these people, they see you. They've known, they've done this for years, and they know, oh, she's got this, this, and this. Let's push her all the way through. And this is where I landed. So I think that's part of the empowerment, right? Of let's push you and push you until you really can see outside of what you really truly are, like a butterfly effect sort of a thing. And then I think one of the true things that I did love, and BRYN MAWR also has, is the consortium of the other colleges around. I think that's also what makes us unique, is that you have triple the opportunities, right? It's not just that you have one campus, but you're living in a consortium of the three of them. But so anyway, I know I could talk about St. Mary's on and on, but I know we're about to wrap up. So we've actually both sent some links. If you fill out those forms, you will be receiving more information about St. Mary's, and we'll also be able to contact you if you want to Zoom, chat with us, or anything you would like.
Thank you very much. I wish we can stay here all day, but time is not on our side. Before we wrap up, there was a question about whether attending a women's college will isolate individuals from the world, but by all means, from every indication, it doesn't isolate us. And talking about the consortia you have with the different schools, it's even more than attending one school. So I think that is taken care of. We will wrap up now. If you have any last words to share with our audience. I heard empowerment, and I'm happy that this is coming through, I mean, again and again, because we are celebrating Women's History Month. And I think it's a good word to keep in mind. We can wrap up briefly, and then we can say thank you to our audience. But I want you to know that people are watching from the US, from South Africa, and all the different big cities in Ghana.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate you taking the time to learn about our colleges, and we hope to have you on our campus soon. If you have any questions, you know where to find us.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody.
And this is our thank you to you all. You are busy, but you made time. You've taught us so much about your schools, way better than what we would have if we just went onto your website. So EducationUSA Ghana is truly grateful. Our audiences are grateful. And audience, thank you so much for joining. In 2 weeks, we will come your way again with another set of women's colleges. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.